Okay, welcome to challenge number 2. Same process. You'll have 2 minutes and then see after that. Okay, welcome back. Again, let's start going through the answers and see what we can maybe eliminate, what's reasonable and what's not reasonable. So starting with A, the default cooldown time for scaling might be too long. So we could create a scaling specific cooldown that overrides that default time. Well, that seems like a reasonable suggestion, as perhaps maybe we need to scale more aggressively to meet the need. So let's set that one to the side. Now, option B is your internet gateway has become saturated. We should create a new VPC and an ELB with its own internet gateway and route the traffic equally to either EB. Well, internet gateways aren't susceptible to saturation. They really have no bandwidth limit. So I don't really think that's potentially a cause here. So I'm going to mentally set that aside. So option C says, in essence, we should implement scheduled scaling. The problem is that our demand is unpredictable. So scheduled instances won't really help us out, and it could probably lead to some excess sometimes. So I'm going to put that one to the side too. Now D says customer demand is not stable enough to properly trigger scaling thresholds of your existing scaling policies. We should implement a step scaling policy configured around CPU utilization. Well, that does seem like a reasonable suggestion. Let's keep going and see if we find anything better. Option E says our launch configuration is set up to launch undersized instances. We should edit our current launch configuration to launch larger instances. Well, the problem is that once you create a launch configuration, you can't edit it after it's been created. And I think AWS does this so it doesn't have to worry about validity dates of when certain launch configurations got changed or versioned. So right now they force you to create a new launch configuration and assign that new launch configuration to that ELB. Now if we change this to say we would create a new launch configuration, this would be a good suggestion. Option F says we need more dynamic web capacity than our current configuration, so we can create a new launch configuration of smaller instances and implement a step scaling policy with a shorter cooldown period. The flaw with this is that step scaling policies don't have a cooldown period. Rather, they have a warm-up period where you can specify how long to allow your new instances to come up before another step scale can be triggered. So going back to the answers that I like A and I like D. So those are my final answers. How'd you do?